Good evening to everyone and welcome to the SPM Revision Seminar Online. And today's subject is maths. Before I introduce the speaker, for anyone who would like to ask a question answered by the speaker, please post your questions on the chat box so we can read them during the Q&A session. Besides that, for the Form 5 students this year, we are offering School Achievers Scholarship Award, SASA. We do highly encourage all Form 5 leavers to submit your application through our webpage. For more information, please log on to our webpage to find out more. Today, we have Ms. Rani from American and Canadian Education. I'll hand it over to you, Ms. Rani.
Thank you, Mohan. Selamat petang para pelajar. Selamat datang ke sesi ulang kaji matematik tambahan minggu kelima. Pada petang ini, cikgu akan buat dua topik daripada tingkatan 4 iaitu koordinat, geometri koordinat dan sukatan membulat. Okay, so I will continue this session in English. Okay, the chapter that we are going to look at is Form 4 Chapter 6, that is coordinate geometry. And what you need to know in this chapter are these 5 things. How to find distance between 2 points, midpoint between 2 points, or any point on a straight line. How to find the point, okay? And then how to find area of a polygon. Can be a triangle, can be a quadrilateral, depends on the question. Equation of a straight line. And then you also need to know the concept of parallel and perpendicular line. What are the connection with the slope? And finally, the equation of a locus. Okay, there are 2 questions given in every year SPM paper 1. And for those weak students, it's good for you to attempt to this question, easy for you to score. And those who are wanted to try in paper 2, there's always 1 question, either in part A or part B. The next that we are looking at is circular measure, which is another topic which is easy to score. The important thing that you need to know is radian and degree, how to convert from one to the other. Okay, and how to find the length of an arc of a circle and how to find the area of a sector of a circle. Okay, again, there's 1 question in paper 1. Always there's 1 question and it's easy to score. For those students are not very good, you can attempt this question easily to get some marks. And in paper 2, those who want to try out, there will be 1 question in paper 2, either section A or B. So let's look more into the chapters. So for geometry coordinate or coordinate geometry, okay, the distance between the point. Okay, you must know the formula, the distance between the point, how we work it out if you're given 2 points. The midpoint, how do we calculate? The third one just now I told you is what happens if it's not a midpoint but given in a ratio form. So how do we calculate the point? And this is a very frequently asked question in a certain ratio. We will see some example later on. The next one we are looking at is area of a polygon. Let's say if you are given 4 points here, you want to find the area. The formula is arrange your point either clockwise or anti-clockwise, either way, your x and your y value, and the multiplication will be from your x1, y2, the way is multiply minus the opposite direction. Okay, if you get a negative value, that's why there's an absolute sign here. So if the value that you found is negative with the absolute sign, you will get a positive area because area cannot be negative. And then the next thing you need to know is equation of a line. Important for you to have the gradient and 1 given point on the line. So with this, you can use the formula y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. Some of you wanted to use the modern maths way of solving it. Y is mx plus c. There's no harm in using that. You can use that formula as well. For parallel line, what is the concept? You need to know their slope are the same. If you have two parallel lines, the slope for each of them you found, you will see their slope must be the same. For perpendicular line, when you multiply the slope of the two perpendicular line, you must get -1. And the next concept, that is another question which always come in paper 2, is equation of locus. Okay, so if you're given a point P which is free moving point, and the distance from another 2 points is given in certain ratio. Okay, so you can write it like here, between PQ and PR is M against N. So what you need to find is the distance, the formula for distance from P to Q, and the formula for distance from P to R equals to the given ratio. Then from here you get the equation for your locus. Okay, let's look at the next topic, circular measure. Okay, what is important here? Only 3 things. How to convert from radian to degree and degree to radian. So if you are converting from degree to radian, you multiply whatever your angle with pi over 180. And if you convert from radian to degree, you multiply your value in radian with 180 over pi. Okay, most students might ask, what is the value of pi? In SPM, normally they will ask you to use 3.142. So this is the value you'll be using, 3.142. Okay, then the next one you're looking at is the length of an arc. You have a minor arc and a major arc. Please be careful whether the question asks you to find the length for minor or major is very important. So if your minor arc is theta, the angle, which is given in radian, so the major arc will be 2 pi minus theta. And the formula to find the length will be radius, which is r, times your angle. This is theta, it depends. If it's a minor, you call it theta. If it's a major, you put it as 2 pi minus theta. And the last one that you need to know is the area of a sector. Again, you have a minor sector and a major sector. Same thing, your angle will be either theta, if it's in a minor sector. In a major sector, you put it as 2 pi minus theta. And remember, your theta here is in radians. So 2 pi, pi is given as 3.142. So your area is given as half r square theta. So these are the 3 things that you need to know for circular measure. And it's easy for you to score. So those students have not many choice of question. Please do answer your question in circular measure as well as your geometry, coordinate geometry. Okay, now let's look at question on coordinate, geometry coordinate here. The first one is, we are looking at last year's SPM paper. This is in your paper 1. You are given 2 parallel lines. Can you see the 2 parallel lines? The arrow is given, and another line that intersecting both of them. They ask you to express K in terms of Q. K is given in one of these lines, and Q is given in another line. So we need to find where these 2 lines are connected. There are 2 points here. So which one you're going to choose? We're going to choose for question A is the point down here, because we don't want to mix with R. R will be in part B. So for part B, we need to connect with the parallel line. So let's find out what is this point. Since your origin is 0, as what you can see, this line, your X value will be 0. So for question A, your X equals to 0. Put it this value into your equation, X over P minus Y over Q equals to 1, to find out what is your Y. So what you have is 0 over P minus Y over Q equals to 1. So you have y equals to negative q. And where this line meet the other line at this point, again, is meeting up with this line at the same point. So now using this equation, ky equals to 3x plus 6. These are point of intersection, so it must satisfy the value for x and y. So replace your y with negative q and your x with 0. So what we have, k times negative q equals to 3 times 0 plus 6. So what you get is negative kq equals to 6. What the question wanted, k in terms of q. So k will be negative 6 over q. So we just leave the answer in this form. Now for part B, since it's something to do with r, it means you're talking about this line. So these two lines are parallel to each other. Okay, so again, we need to know what is this point, then we can find out what is the equation of this line. So how to find out this? At this point, you can see very clearly your y is 0. So when y equals to 0, we put it into the equation to find what is your x value. So what we have is x over p minus 0 over q equals to 1. So you have x equals to p. So what you have is your coordinate will be p0. Your coordinate here is p0, and very clear this coordinate is 0, r. So can we find the equation? Then we compare what is the concept for parallel line. Just now I told you the slope must be the same. So let's find out the slope for this. Just need the slope. You don't need the equation. So what is the slope for the line here? So between the point 0r and p0, the slope or the gradient, okay, we call it m1. So m1 will be, remember how to find slope, you have learned in modern maths. You find the difference in y value, divide by the difference in x value. So we simplify this negative r over p. Okay, since the line ky equals to 3x plus 6 are parallel to this line, so we also find out what is the slope for the second line. So from the line ky equals to 3x plus 6, we try to find out what is your value y in terms of other function. You cannot have any constant here. Then only you can find the slope. So we take away the k by dividing everything by k. So you have y is 3 over kx plus 6 over k. So from the way it's written, remember, if you have seen modern maths, we write in this form. Whatever coefficient in front of your x is a slope. So the slope for the second line is 3 over k. So what is the connection between these two slopes? Since they are parallel to each other, so let me write. So since they are parallel line, so your m1 must equals to m2. So what we have, we want to find r in terms of k and p. So negative r over p equals to 3 over k. So change the arrangement of the thing, bring your negative p across. So you have negative 3p over k. So that is your answer for part B. Okay, so remember the concept for parallel line is the slope must be the same. Okay, now let's look at a question that will come in your paper 2, and those who want to do it, sometimes the question might be easy, but it might involve a few parts. Okay, look at the diagram here. This is 2016. Okay, I'm not sure what is the point A, but given to you, your AC, important, underline the word that is given, AC intercept your y-axis at the point B. Okay, that is given to you. And given to you also this. Okay, you are given the ratio. So if you see this line, okay, let's assume what is the coordinate for A as H and K. Okay, let's say this coordinate, we call it H and K. Okay, you can use X and Y, no problem. The ratio A to B is 2, B to C is 3. Since all three of them fall on a straight line, we call it collinear. Okay, so when you do the point, you want to find a point that is missing here. Remember, when you multiply the point, you will always multiply the opposite ratio. So what we have is for question A, to find your coordinate of A. So let's say we are looking at the X value. So H times 3, not H times 2. It's always the opposite. So you have H times 3, which is 3H plus 6 times 2. That will give you 12 over the total here, the ratio is 5. And what must this be equivalent to? 0. Because the point is given as 0, the point in between this line. So from here, you can find what is your H. So what you have, 3H plus 12 is 0 by bringing this up. And you get H equals to -4. Okay, the same way to find your K. So 3K, 3 times K, then 12 times 2, which is 24. Over the total ratio is 5, must equals, what is the answer for B? The point is 6, because it's 0, 6, your coordinate X and Y. So from here, try to solve this. So what we have, you have 3K equals to 6, so K equals to 2. So your coordinate A will be -4, 2. So that answer part A. Now part B, part A, the first part. Now looking at the second part, they ask you to find the equation of the straight line AD. So we already know A is -4, 2, and your D is given in the diagram 2, -6. So how to find equation of straight line? First, we need to know the slope. And how to find the slope? You find the difference in your Y value. Divide by the difference in your X value. Be careful with the plus and minus sign. If it's a negative point, remember, plus and minus sign, the difference. You make sure you don't make mistake in that. So you have -8 over 6, which is -4 over 3. And you can choose any one of the point to find the equation. So what we know is equation is given y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. So we already have the slope. We can choose any one of the points here. You can choose which one to give you the smallest number, but it doesn't matter. Either one will give you the same answer. So let's say I choose point A. So y minus 2, the y1 is the value of y in coordinate A, point A, and your slope is -4 over 3, x minus -4, so it becomes +4. Okay, let's try to simplify. Don't leave it at this. Try to put it, all the constant, bring it together. So you have x, and then you multiply, you have -16 over 3, and the -2, I brought it across, so it's +2. So what we have is -4 over 3x, and this one, -16 over 3 plus 2, you can simplify, you will get -10 over 3. Okay, this answer is accepted. You don't want to see fraction, you multiply everything by 3. This answer is also accepted. Either this way or this way, you're writing it in fraction or in a round figure, it's still accepted. So that's your answer for part 2. Part 3, area of the triangle ACD. So ACD is the 3 points here. Remember area of a polygon, how is the formula work? The same way. So for part 3, area is given half. Arrange your point. ACD, so follow the order ACD, or you can put it ADC. So you must follow clockwise or anti-clockwise. So let's say we follow ACD. So A is -4, 2. Your C is 6, 12. And then you have D is 2, -6. And then repeat your A again. The first coordinate, repeat again. Okay, after this, what you need to do is you multiply. Multiply this way. Okay. So -4 times 12, okay, I'm just going to write it out. So we have -48, 6 times -6, you get -36. 2 times 2, you get +4. Minus now the opposite way. So 6 times 2 is 12. 2 times 12 is 24. And -4 times -6 is +24. The absolute sign, don't remove it until you're sure the number is positive, because area cannot be negative. Okay, use your calculator. When you total up this whole thing, be careful the plus and minus sign. What you will have is -140. That's where the absolute sign comes in, because area cannot be negative, so it becomes positive 140 divided by 2, so you will get 70 units square. Okay. This question is in paper 2, question 11. That means part B. So this whole question carry 10 marks. So we have one more question part here. Part B, locus. Okay, what is given here is the distance of this point P from point C is always twice. From point C is twice from point D. So what you have is PC is 2 times PD. So remember, we are talking about distance. So P, we call it with some name. We always use P as X, Y. And what is your C? Your C is given 6, 12. And your D is 2, -6. So let's form the equation for the distance. So you have X PC. So X minus 6 square plus Y minus 12 square equals to 2 times of square root P to D. So you have X minus 2 square plus Y minus -6, so it becomes +6. Okay, be careful with the plus sign again. Okay, now we need to remove the square root, so we square both sides. So can you see the 2 here? It becomes 4. So now by removing the square root and expand this function, what you have is x squared. Okay, I hope I have enough space. 12x plus 36 plus y squared minus 24y plus 144. Okay, over this side, the square root has been removed. So what you have is x squared minus 4x plus 4. And over here will be y squared plus 12y plus 36. Okay, what we do is we try to multiply in and then simplify. So when you multiply in the 4, be careful, and the x here. So after you have done your multiplication, bring all your terms together to one side. All the x squared together, y squared together, x together, and y together. Finally, your constant. So I will write the last answer here. What you will get is 4x squared when you bring it across, so you get 3x squared. And then for y squared, we arrange from the highest order to the lowest. So 4y squared, bring this across, so minus, so become 3y squared. And then all the x, when you combine together, you will get minus 4x. And then combine all the y, you get 72y, and all the constant combined together, you get this equals to 0. So this is your final answer, the equation of locus. Remember, this whole question is 10 mark, but maybe if you have problem, certain part, maybe locus is more difficult. The rest, I think you can score easily. Okay, this is part B, paper 2. Okay, now let's see other type of question that will be asked. Okay, these are from other books and school. Okay, what you can see here, you might ask me, when you say PQ equals to PR, if that means P is a midpoint? No, you must be careful with the word collinear. When you are saying collinear, mean all your 3 points will be on the straight line. There is no word of collinear here. So we are not sure PQR, is it on the same line? The 3 points are on the same line, or is it this way? P is here, Q is here, and R here. So which one of it? This is for collinear. So the word collinear is not given. Please don't assume it's on a straight line. So what means by PQ equals to PR? That means your distance is the same. So here might give you the same concept as this. So in this case, to solve A, we use distance, not midpoint. So be careful, are the 3 points in a straight line. Okay, so now the next thing that we need to do is find what is PQ. So all the coordinates is given, so let's work it out. Remember how to find your P the same way like we did just now. So PQ, so we have X minus 2. And this is minus become plus because Q is -2 square. Y, not Y, here we are using 2x because your Y coordinate is given as 2x. Minus 4 square equals to PR, same thing, X minus 6 square plus 2x minus become plus 4 square. Okay, when you square root both sides, there's no number in front of the square root, so no changes, so you can cancel the square root. So by squaring both sides, you will cancel the square root. You just need to expand this. So what we have is x squared. Let me write this out. Okay, remember 2x squared. The plus and minus sign, please be careful. Over the other side. And you have 2x, same thing. So you have okay, be careful with the plus and minus sign. Okay, what you can see, you can see like it's too messy, but there are some terms that is similar, you can cancel. Like x squared and x squared, this one will give you 5. Here and here also can cancel. So no more square, because they are the same term. When you bring all over, is subtract. So what you are left is only x. So combine all your x and combine all your y. So you have 4x minus 16x. Bring this across, plus 12. Bring this across, so minus 16. So what you are left with is minus 16x. Okay, bring all your constant over the other side on your right hand side. So you have 36 plus 16, then you minus 16, and then plus 4. So you will get 36, 16, and plus 16, this cancel off. So you will get 32. So what you are left with is x is -2. That's what they ask you to find. Okay, so be careful. Remember the word collinear, and when it's not given, what it means. Okay, so here you cannot use the concept of midpoint. Okay, for part B, point A divide a line segment in joining 2 points P and Q. So let's say you have a line. If you follow the arrangement, I'm not very sure. I didn't write in an exact coordinate form. I'm just putting 3 points here. Okay. It's not necessary the order must be the same. So I'm just putting here, you have P and Q. Let's say Q is here. Assume the P is here. It's supposed to be The other way, I'm just putting in, and A is in between. Because A is dividing the 2 points. It's supposed to be slanted in this way, no problem, no harm. Okay, your point P, AQ and AP. What is the connection between this? This is what they ask you to find. So assume some ratio here. So let's say your AP, I call it M, AQ, I call it N, which we don't know. So we need to calculate the ratio, okay? So what we need is, the point is given here. Q was given -2, 7. A is given is 3, -P. And your P is given as 5, -2. Recall back we did a question earlier, how we multiply, okay? So let's look at the X coordinate. So you have -2 times M plus 5 times N, opposite. Must divide by the ratio here, M plus N. What is this must equals to? 3. So bring it up. So you have -2M plus 5N equals to 3M plus 3N. So what we have, bring all your M together, all your N together. So when I bring my M and N together, okay, let's see which direction. Okay, whichever direction you want to put it in. Okay, let's bring your M over here. -5 over M equals to -2 over N. So I want to find what is M over N. So you have -2 over -5, which is 2 over 5. M stands for the distance between AP, that's correct. So you want AP with PQ. So what is the ratio? AP is given as M, so that is 2. But what is PQ? PQ is the whole thing. So that means M plus N. So M plus N will be 7. So your answer is 27, not 25. So be careful. Don't write it 25 because they ask between AP and PQ, not AP and AQ. Okay, so be careful the question. Okay, the next one they ask you to find is the value of P. That is your Y value. Okay, the same way we multiply. Since we don't know already what is M stand for, so M is 2 and N is 5. So straight away we can use this number. So 7 times 2 plus -2 times 5, which give you over, total here is 2 plus 5, which is 7, will give you what? -P. So total up this, 14 minus 10 is 4. 4 over 7 equals to -P. So P is -4 over 7. That is answer your part B. Okay. Let's look at a question where some of you might not have heard this word, perpendicular bisector. So I'm showing you a question on perpendicular bisector. So let's look at the equation given. They have given you a point K and L. K intercept your x-axis, L intercept your y-axis. So you have x over 4, y over 12 equals to 1. So when they intersect x-axis, so you are saying y equals to 0. So x over 4 equals to 1 because y is 0, so you get x is 4. So this is your point K, which is 4, 0. And then intercept your y-axis means you put your x 0. So when x is 0, this is gone. So you have -y over 12 equals to 1. So you get y equals to -12. So this is your L, which is 0, -12. So they ask you to find the gradient. So you already know what is your K and your L. So now you can find what is your gradient. So gradient will be M. Find the difference in your y value, so 0 minus -12, divide by the difference in your x value. So you get 12 over 4, which is equals to 3. So this answer your part A. Now part B, perpendicular. That means your slope, when you have two lines, it must multiply with the slope. If you have your first line and second line, it must be 90 degrees to each other. So if one of the line is given as 3, what will be the perpendicular line? So 3, assume your m, I call it as m1 times m2 equals to -1. So the slope for the second line is -1/3. What means by bisector? Bisector means if you have a straight line, assume your straight line here, it divides the line into equal parts. So it means the point that is going to divide is called your midpoint. Bisector divide into two same length. So it's a midpoint. So how to find a midpoint between K and L? So you plus. So to find your midpoint, so 4 plus 0 divided by 2 and 0 plus -12 divided by 2. So what is your midpoint? 2, -6. So you already have the slope, you already have the point on the line, which is your midpoint, but it's still a point on the line. So now you can find the equation. Y minus y1. Okay, now let's put it in. So y plus 6 because minus, m is -1/3, x minus 2. Okay, let's simplify this. Put it your y over here, the rest bring it across. -1/3x multiply in 2/3 and minus 6. So what you can write it as -1/3x. And this one you can combine it, so you get -16/3. Similar way, the earlier when I did it, if you don't want to see the fraction, you can multiply up. This is also an answer is accepted. You don't want in fraction, you can multiply up. So that is your answer for part B. So we have finished with geometric coordinate. Let's try for circular measure. Okay, these are questions either in paper 1 or paper 2. So I will show you some questions in paper 1, some questions in paper 2. So look at this diagram. This was last year, paper 2, question 3, part A. Okay, so what we are given here is the length of PB. So I mean this length is 2.56. This is a sector, POA is a sector. So the length PB is the arc, is 2.56 is given. They ask you to find the angle POB. So this angle is, let's say I call it as theta. Since you are talking about length and angle and you're given radius, the connection of this is finding the length of an arc. So to answer question A, you use your formula for length of an arc. So S is 2.56, R is given as 10, and theta, remember, is in radians, so we'll just leave it as theta. So what you get is theta is 0.256. Very simple and straightforward. So we have it. Okay, now the next part is the one going to be difficult. They ask you to find the area of the shaded region. There are two regions here. So let's say I call the first one as A1 and the second one as A2. So let's find A1 first. So A1, the region here, use your formula half r squared theta. Okay, so what we have is when you use this half r squared theta, your r is 10, your theta is given in radians, so you already found it. So what you have is 10 squared times 0.256. And if you use your calculator and work it out this, you will get 12.8 and the unit is cm squared. So we already found A1. Now to find A2, we have a problem. You can see a bigger triangle, which is a 90-degree triangle, and a sector. So we only want this part. So can we find the area of this sector? Yes, we can. And the area of the big right angle triangle? Yes, we can. So, but how to find the area when you're only given the angle? Can you see this OA is part of your sector? So this is your radius 10 cm. So if this is 10, what is the height here? So what we are doing is using the concept of sine, cos, and tangent. We have tangent 60 equals to AC over 10. Tangent 60 is AC over 10. So what is the height? Will be 10 tangent 60. So what is the area of this big triangle? And what is the area of the sector? So we find the area of this big triangle minus this sector will give you A2. So how to find A2? So A2 will be, area of the big triangle will be half times your base, which is 10, times your height, which we have found is 10 tangent 60, minus area of this sector, the one not shaded, will be half r, the radius is 10, r square, remember, and 60 degree, you will have to change it to radian form. What is 60 degree in radian form? So let's do it separately. You want to have 60 degree in radian form will be 60 times pi over 180. So you can simplify this by putting your pi. If it's not given in the question, you choose pi as 3.142. That's the value you need to choose. Okay, so this will give you 1 over 3 pi. I just put it here. 1 over 3 pi, and then you substitute your value pi as 3.142. So what we have here is, this one will give you 86.603 if you use your calculator. This one, by substituting your pi 3.142, you will get 52.37. I just round it up. Maybe you want to put it 2 decimal, you can maintain. So you will get 34.233 if you want to put it 3 decimal, because they didn't say how many decimal, or you can leave it as 2 decimal. So you already found A1 and A2. So what's the total? Total area will be A1 plus A2. So what is A1? 12.8 plus 34.233. Okay, so what you get is 47.033, or 03 also okay. And your unit here is all in cm, so cm square. Okay, so this is question in paper 2 part A. Okay, let's see a question in paper 1. Okay, one question from paper 1. I want you to see this word, minor arc, and then there's a major. So I want you to see what is minor and major here. Okay, you have a circle with the center O, and the radius is 8 cm, so it's 8. So the smallest part of the sector, we call it minor. The biggest part here, we call it the major. Okay, bigger region, bigger angle it will take. So the length for the minor arc is 16. And they have given you, use pi 3.142. State the value of theta in radians since you are given the length. So to answer part A, we use the formula for length. So the length for the minor is given as 16. Your radius is 8, and we want to find what is theta. So theta is 2 radian. That's very simple, very straightforward. You get 2 marks here. The second part, find the area of a major OAB. OAB, so this is your major, this part. So if this is 2 radian, what will be the angle here? So if theta is given as 2 radian, what will be this angle here? Will be 2 pi, because the total is 2 pi minus 2. So area is given half r squared times the angle. So since it's the same circle, so your radius is still 2, but be careful, we want to find what? Major. The major arc here, which is the angle is 2 pi minus 2. So put it in 2 pi minus 2. Okay, so what we have, remember your pi, you put it as 3.182. 3.142 as what is given here, and then you can calculate this, you will get 137.088. But be careful, here they have identified 4 significant figures. So you count 1, 2, 3, this is the 4th. So round it up, so your answer, you will have to put it as 4 significant figure and cm square. Don't put it as 088, it's wrong. Okay, so that's your answer. Another 2 marks easily you can get. So for paper 1, if you can answer circular measure, there'll be 1 question, and your geometry coordinate, there'll be 2 questions that already give you about 12 to 14 marks, depend on the question. Okay, let's look at other example here. Okay, what we have here is a semicircle OQRS. OQRS, this is a semicircle. And a sector PQTS. And with the center at O. So this one for the semicircle, the center is O. For the sector, the center is P. So we have 2 center, one is O, one is P. Given OP, OP is this line. O to P is 8 cm. Okay. And given to you the radius of a semicircle, so radius is this line. This and this is called the radius. This is 6 cm. So you can see this is a 90 degree. So you have 6, you have 8. So you can find this angle theta, or you can name it by another name. They ask you to calculate the angle QPS. This is mirror image, so you find half of it, then you times 2. So what you see is like this. You are seeing a 6 here, 90 degree, 8, and this angle is theta. So what concept we're going to use? We are going to use tangent. Tangent theta is 6/8. Use your calculator, you find the inverse tangent 6/8. And they want the answer in radians, so inverse tangent 6/8 will give you, if you put it, you will get 36.87. Use your calculator. This is in degree, but I need to change it to radians, so pi over 180. And what is the value for pi? 3.142. So when you calculate this, what you will get? You will get 0.64. Let's say I put it to 4 decimal. But this is not my answer because I want to find the angle QPS is double. It's mirror image, so it's time. So the angle QPS will be 2 times theta. So multiply by 2. So you will get 1.287. Let's say I leave it as 3 decimal. This is given in radian. That will answer your part A. Now part B. They ask you to find the parameter of the shaded region. Shaded region only this. This is your shaded region. So what you need to know is the length of the arc for the sector and the parameter for a semicircle here. So you have 2 parts and plus it up. So we have the length of arc. Okay, let's say we write the name QTS. Okay, what's the formula for the length of arc? So we have the formula is r theta. So your radius, if this is 6, this is 8. Remember your Pythagoras theorem. 8 and 6, what should be here? 10. So your radius for the sector here is 10. 10 times the angle of this whole thing, we already found 1.287. So what we have, 12.87. So this is the length of the arc. So now we are looking at the perimeter of the semicircle. Okay, perimeter of a semicircle. What's the formula for a circle? Circle, the perimeter is of, we don't use the word perimeter, we use the word circumference. Okay, circumference is for the whole circle. I think I better don't use the word circumference, is for the whole circle. So circumference for a whole circle is 2 pi r. So now is half of it, so divide by 2. And what do you have? You have 2, and your pi you multiply by 3.142. And what is the radius for the semicircle? Is already given. The radius of a semicircle is 6. So what we have in total here, what we get is 18. So you already have for the arc and the semicircle. So combined perimeter of the whole thing will be 12.87 plus 18.852. So in total, what you get is 31.72. And this unit will be in cm. So that was the answer for the shaded region, the perimeter. Okay. Okay, one last question. This might be a question in your paper too. The shaded region is given here. Okay, so diagram shows a circle with the center O, and you see a smaller circle with the center P, and the diameter is OQ. Okay, QT is tangent to both circles, the big circle as well as the small circle. And given to you, OP is 2. Okay, and length of the arc, QR. QR is this, the length of the arc for the small circle, QR, is given to you as 4/3 pi. So what they ask you to find is the angle QPR. So let's see, QPR. So it will be against the length of the arc. So we want to find this angle. So to solve A, we use the formula for length of arc. So we are given, the length of the arc is 4/3 pi. The radius, since this is a smaller circle, the radius is given 2. So radius here is also 2. This is a circle, the center is P. So 2 times your theta. So what will be your theta? 2/3 pi. This is in radian form. That answer your first part. Okay, for part B, area of the sector QOS. Okay, since this angle is 2/3 pi, or another word, if you want to change it to degree, this will be 120 degree. Okay, don't use this when you answer part A. I'm just showing you here is 120. So if this is 120, so we know this is 60 degree for this triangle. And since these two are same length, 2, 2, so all this angle will be 60 degree. So the angle QOS, the angle here will be 60 degree as well. So we found the angle QOS equals to 60 degree. So from here, 60 degree is also can be written as pi/3 when you change it to radian form. Okay, you want straight away, you can use this to find the angle. Those who are confused with radian, you can change it to degree, but make sure you present it in radian form. So area of a sector QOS. So area of QOS, the sector, will be half r squared times pi/3. So what we have 422, so you have Did I miss out something? Okay, sorry. Sector here, be careful here. We are looking at QOS. So this is the big circle because the center is O. So it's not 2, it's 4. The radius for the big circle will be 2 plus 2, so it becomes 4. So it's 4 square. So what you have, 16 divided by 2, so 8 pi over 3 cm square. Okay, now part C is the shaded region. Okay, what can you see here? You see a bigger sector here, which we already found, QOS, minus this region inside here, you will get the area of the shaded region. So recall back of your triangles. Okay, so to find this area of the shaded region, what you need is area of shaded region will be, okay, let's say we put it, the area that we have found, 8 pi over 3 is the area of a sector, minus two different area here. One is the small sector here, and one is a triangle here. So you have a triangle PRO with the angle, this is 2, 2, and this angle is 60. Recall back how to find area for a triangle when you are given the radius and the angle in between. So your formula for area is half, whatever your two sides will be 2 times 2 sine 60. You might have seen this formula. So that will be area of the triangle. So half 2 times 2 sine 60. And the area of this sector will be half r square times, what is the angle here? We already found from part A, 2 over 3 pi. Okay, so calculate this whole thing. So what you will have is, when you simplify, you get 8 pi over 3. If I put sine 60 degree using your calculator, if you want to accurate one, this is same as square root 2, this is square root 3 over 2, you will get square root 3, but you can use your calculator even to calculate. And this will give you 4 over 3 pi. Again, we substitute pi as 3.142. Okay, even here you can put it in decimal. I put it in the accurate form, but you can put it in decimal. So your final answer will be, when you simplify this whole thing, so your final answer will be in decimal 2.457 cm square. So you have the big sector minus the small sector here for the small circle minus the triangle. That will give you the area of the shaded region. Be careful, there's some part here is not shaded, so that's why you have to minus these two other points. Okay, so this is what you will get when you calculate your area of the shaded region. So be careful what they ask you to find, what information given, and you might use information you learned in modern maths or other chapter to solve this. Okay, so that's the two topics that we have discussed. I hope you can try practice. I put up the question in your website, in Facebook. So try to practice. I've given you more questions. Try to practice more questions, because at the end of the day, you are the one going to sit for the exam, and the success is the sum of small effort repeated day in and day out. You keep on practicing. Okay, thank you everyone. I will see you in a short while after the video for a Q&A section. Back to you, Mohan.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dragon. Just give me a second.
Okay, let's look at the Q&A section. Okay, one of you have asked whether is it possible for topic to be mixed with other topic for your higher order thinking skill question. Yes, because some topics are connected from another topic, whether it's modern math or ed math. So you need to know the basic concept and the connection. So you might use more than one topic in solving a question. Okay. And then another student asked the format. I always forget the format, how to change from radian to degree to radian. Okay, just remember pi over 180 or 180 over pi. So if you are changing from degree, your 180 must always be your degree. Pi is called the radian format. 180 is a degree format. So when you're changing an angle, let's say 60 degree to radian form. So it's pi over 180. You must divide by the degree. So pi, the radian must be on top because you're changing to radian format. So from 60 degree, I'm changing to radian. So I put pi on top and 180 below. But if it's given in radian format, let's say the radian format is 2, I want to change in degree. So your 180 must be on top, your pi must be below. That's how you remember. Okay, so are you changing from degree to radian? So pi must be on top. If you are changing from radian to degree, so 180 must be on top and pi must be below. I hope that will answer for you to remember how you're changing it. So, okay, the students say the time really go faster. Yes, because I need to show you a few questions from paper 1 and paper 2, and I'm choosing 2 topics. But for you, Raj, no problem. You still can contact me through Facebook. For all the students who are out there watching, don't think only this is the section. There's no more other section for you to contact me. You still can contact me through Facebook at any time. I will look at the question and answer you. You want to make it personal, you can write to my email address. I have posted my email address earlier. So if you want to know my email address, it's just put it thayas@hub.edu.my. So you can post your question and I will answer accordingly. Okay, everyone, thank you for the section. And please take care, stay safe at home. Please don't go around, follow the SOP. Good night, wherever you are. Back to you, Mohan.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rani. Hopefully we all have definitely learned a lot, and hopefully we all also have a clear thought about this session. Tomorrow will be maths at 8 p.m. too, so I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.